Oh, yeah. And now, from North Platte High School Studio B, welcome to Bulldog Banter, where students, stakeholders, and alumni come together to traverse the transformative power of education. This week's episode sponsored by the North Platte Public Schools Foundation and the Flower Market.
Hey everyone, welcome to Bulldog Banter. I'm Molly.
And I'm Ashlyn.
And our producer, Ashlyn.
Today we're here with Amy Minshull.
And she is the owner of two companies, Nebraska Portraits and A Moment Photography.
All right, Amy, let's get to know you. What first got you interested in photography?
Well, when I was 16, my first job was at a photography studio here in North Platte, and I was able to be his assistant and go to all the sessions. I did that for a couple years and then didn't pick up photography again until we became a family and I had my first son, Jackson, and picked up a camera again and kind of fell in love with the art of creating. For a few years, it was a hobby, and then when he went off to kindergarten is when I decided to jump 2 feet in and start my first studio.
Wow, that's a big gap from 16 to when you got a family.
Yeah, I think I've always been in the creative world, and it was a great outlet. It's really healing and, can help you process in a lot of different ways. But through college and stuff, I didn't pick up a camera during that time.
Oh, wow.
I actually went to school to be a teacher.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
So do you have your
early childhood. So I owned a preschool for several years.
Wow.
good stuff? Wow.
How did your focus come about changing?
So I was subbing here. One, we were in Kearney. My husband moved back here for a job, and so when we came with him, I didn't want to start another contract for teaching because I was expecting our first son. And so I started subbing here. And what we found with the subbing is it was hard to get childcare and, make a good plan with that. And so I kind of started supplementing photography in that when I couldn't get the subbing jobs that worked with the babysitters. Then my niece Ashlyn was born, and I started babysitting both of them. And so then being a sub or in the teaching world kind of fell to the side. We grew the daycare. I had a daycare for a little while in there, and as the kids were growing, I would photograph them as their stages. I had two little babies, like the Ashton and Jax are 4 months apart, and then actually we had a third one join them about a month later. So I had 3 babies under the age of 1 that were all really close in age, and so it just became consistent that I was able to photograph them and use it as an outlet of crazy, because a mom with 3 essential twins or triplets can be kind of overwhelming. So that's when photography kind of became more of a passion again. And as those kids grew, we had 2 more babies in our home, and when they were heading off to kindergarten, those first set of 3, it just felt like we needed to transition, and I was getting pretty good at photography as far as a craft. And so my husband and I wrote down a business plan and just started that transition to leave daycare and teaching, and then transition that into a full-time business of being able to pay my mortgage with something that was supposed to be an art.
So how long was the span of just being a photographer to then owning your own company?
So my first camera was bought, and I would say 4 years' time is when the camera was bought and a company name was named and got the insurance so that I could actually go out and take pictures of families. And I'd say that was a 4-year span to the time I bought my first big girl camera to when I was like, okay, this is an actual business and I'm going to make a go of it.
Yeah.
When was that transition of what you were like, I like doing this for fun, to oh, maybe I could start making money or profiting off of this?
Pretty much when it starts taking more time than your actual job.
Right.
There has to be a shift at some point. In the business world, you can always be doing something that you love, but to make an income off of it that can help your family survive is totally different. And so, we did a lot of study and read a lot of books and made a business plan that really helped that transition. And there was like a 6-month period that we knew this was the plan. And the 3 babies were heading off to kindergarten. And so we just knew August 1st was kind of that deadline of when it was going to really jump full circle. So
Yeah.
Wow, good stuff.
So like when you first like became a photographer and owning a business, what were some of the challenges you faced?
I think imposter syndrome is really huge when you're in a creative environment. It's not like I do now have degrees in what I'm doing, but at that time I didn't. And so to feel validated in who you are, that you can do this and you can ask for income for this, that's a huge thing to fight. And then when you shift from it being a hobby that you do because it's a passion, and then you have to be creative on demand because that's what time the sessions, that stage was really stressful of like, I don't feel creative today, but I still have a family session coming up that I have to be creative, and just working those muscles essentially to get through that. But imposter syndrome still is a thing. So
Did you like start like just photography and like your family and stuff in your studio, or how did you like advertise that you were like a new photography business?
So Facebook, social media is huge even today to advertise. Word of mouth. Weddings were pretty huge in the beginning. We don't do weddings anymore. I would say word of mouth and family and friends is where it always starts. Then we started winning some awards and getting recognized on a national level, and that really helped us grow too.
Well, I know you do Nebraska portraits because you take my school photos. When did you start picking up that, and could you just elaborate more?
Yeah. So essentially we have 2 companies. We have a Moment Photography that is what we call fine art. We specialize in newborns, families, seniors, the normal things that people think about with photography. And then we have Nebraska Portraits, which is considered a volume studio where we go into schools and photograph. Like here in North Platte, we do North Platte's. And then we have like 7 districts across the state that we're doing right now.
Oh, wow.
And so that kind of came around on COVID. A lot of schools were being serviced with a big box company that was no longer going to come into our area. And so we were getting calls naturally. And we'd done enough volume. At that time, I was doing like Adams Sports and stuff, like just a couple different jobs. And it became enough of a good demand that we decided a company needed made for it. There's just such a difference between fine art, a $1,500 bill versus a $15 bill, that it really was important to me to have 2 separate companies, just for the confusion of what that would be. And in the beginning, I was the sole photographer of Nebraska Portraits too, but we've grown to have 7 photographers and a full team that functions in that area. So
Good stuff. Good stuff.
What's like your favorite memory you've had like with Nebraska Portraits and like going to schools and like being able to see a bunch of students and stuff?
One of the things I was not excited about when I started Nebraska Portraits and started doing volume, especially in our hometown, was I didn't think it was creative. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. Like the connection wasn't going to be there. And what I love the most is that I know you guys. Like I know, Ashlyn, you don't like your hair on both sides. You like it on one side. You need to turn this way. Like I actually know that about hundreds of kids. In fact, I'm probably kind of creepy. Like when I go get a coffee at Starbucks, I'm like, thanks, Ava. Yeah. She's like, I don't know. But the connection is a lot. About what it is for me is I want those relationships, and I love that we've been able to create that even in a big school like North Platte.
Do you think it's like hard to balance the 2 between going all 7 districts and taking photos and then doing family sessions and senior photos year round?
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of strict scheduling. Basically, August, September, October, I don't do any a moment jobs if I can help it, just because it's so hot and heavy in the fall for school pictures. And then my sessions now are structured on the a moment side. that I have a 9 a.m. and I have a 1 p.m. And if it doesn't fit in those two, I'm not doing it for the most part. So we have dropped down some because of that, but I just have to keep those structures because the mindset and like packing wagons to get to a job for volume, it just takes so much of my brain capacity that we've had to put like things in categories.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like I feel like part of your job is like you have to be like very organized or else you're gonna.
Yeah, so I'm not very organized. I'm very much a creative, and I never went into this wanting to be a boss. And that, like, I am a boss in a lot of ways for the Nebraska portrait side. A moment, I'm my own person. Right now, I'm one of 2 photographers that shoots on the A Moment side where we, like have a lot of structure on the Nebraska. So, yeah, I hire someone to be my boss, actually. People think I'm crazy, but we hire a manager that manages all the details because I will forget the umbrella. I will forget
Hey,
the
there's
background.
nothing wrong with that, though.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
That'd be me.
Real. No, I agree.
Okay, with balancing that all, how do you also like imply like your personal life and balancing your personal life with your photography life?
Yeah, so it comes down to structure a lot. Like Mondays, I don't do sessions. Fridays, I don't do anything but meetings in the morning because we have 3 teenagers. So evenings are kind of hard to get date nights in, but Friday lunches is kind of a holy grail time for my husband and I. He's my best friend, Derek. And so we usually go downtown and get coffee and lunch, and then we walk down to the flower market, and he buys me flowers almost every week. So
Yes.
So cute. I love the flower market.
Me too. I feel like you can always like go in and just find the most like random things, but it's like, I don't know, you can actually use them. And the flower market is actually our
sponsorship
for
Bulldog Banter. So
yeah, Sarah's awesome. Have you ever had a jerky bouquet from her?
No.
A jerky bouquet?
Jerky bouquet.
No, what is that?
It's
like beef jerky?
Beef jerky instead of flowers. Yeah.
She have them there?
Yeah, she has.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yep. It's my favorite gift to give people.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good gift for just anyone, or even like boys or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
Because I feel like when I hadn't gone to the flower market, I mean, obviously I go there now, but like before that, I was like, okay, this is just flowers. They just like sell flowers. And then I went in there and I was like, oh my gosh, they have so much
They
good
have
stuff.
all these trinkets.
Yeah.
Like I have a car freshener that I
Me
just bought a
too.
couple days ago. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Good
love it
stuff.
there. It's so cute.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about your family.
Okay. So we have 3 children, Jax, Lexi, and Max. Jackson's a junior here. Lexi's a freshman here at North Platte. And then Max is a 7th grader. And my husband and I have been married for 20 years.
Wow.
Wow. Congrats.
Thanks.
Is it hard balancing all those ages between, you got some high schoolers, you have a middle schooler on top of photography with all their events and stuff they're in?
Yeah, it's definitely a constant conversation. Being a mom first and then being a business owner second, I just really have strong boundaries on what my calendar looks like. Max can't drive yet, so none of my schedule I'm not going to have a session until after 8:30 because I need to be able to take him to school. And we're pretty strict on what sessions are happening after 3:30. The volume side takes up a lot of those sessions, and so that I can pick him up because after school is the most important time to hear about their day. And we have 2 in swim now, and so it's such a blessing to have a business that I get to run my own schedule that I can just mark it off that I'm not going to be available because they have a meet or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely not the easiest, but with learning your boundaries and knowing your rules, that really helps. And I do have a really great team that picks up the pieces when I'm not able to be there.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome that you get to set your own time and stuff for a business like that. Do you try and keep like your photography life and your home life separate? And if you do, like, what do you try and like do with your kids and your family too?
Yeah, my poor team, they get way more personal life than they probably signed up for in the beginning. Our son Jax comes in at noon every day and eats lunch at the studio. And definitely a family affair at the studio. And my husband walks from work to eat lunch with me at the office. And so I would say we're not very good at the separating church and state situation, but they've made a home there. And we do that for our team, too. If someone has a sick kid, they can come or they can work from home. And we just really know that family, we only have you guys as kids for a short amount of time, and that's really important to us.
Well, it's nice that you're so welcoming.
Yeah.
It's good
I also
to know.
feel like it's nice that you can't separate them, but you just have that support system, and you're it's just
it's just good to know that they feel welcome. I'm going to stop in and get some lunch.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. My kids are the worst at being like, my mom didn't answer her phone. I'm going to call the office manager and get what I need.
Yeah.
There's been times where the nurses called to pick up kids, and I've had to send someone else to get them because I was in the middle of something. But yeah, that's their family too. I have a question for Ashlyn.
Oh, okay.
So Ashlyn works for me. I don't think she's said that.
No.
So as a boss, how am I as a boss? Scale of 1 to 10.
Oh.
On the spot.
I feel like there's nothing bad I have to say, so I feel like a 10 out of 10. I feel like you're good at helping me, and you're just very open you're very honest about what you need done and why you need it done, and you're very flexible, and I don't know, I really enjoy having you.
We're going to be sad to not have you when soccer starts.
I know, but I plan to come back for the summer.
Good.
So
That's good.
yes.
Good stuff.
So Miss Ashlyn, when she got hired on, I think you got drugged to Fall Media Day. I don't even remember why you ended up being there. I don't know anyway, she was at Fall Media Day for sports, and we had the Bulldog costume was there. And that one was the size that needed to be in it, and all my other team was holding lights, and so I made Ashlyn wear the Bulldog costume for all of the media pictures.
I sure did. And
she had to leap to catch the football.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
she was a good sport.
Yeah.
Now we know who the football or the Bulldog is.
It's a one-time affair.
Yeah. Oh, what a time. Okay, outside of your weeks, what do your weekends look like?
Well, I am kind of a cliche. I like long walks and coffee. So
That's
this
where it's
weekend,
at.
Yeah, right.
This weekend I sat in my hot tub, walked to Starbucks, which is about a 4-mile round trip, and then went on a date with my husband because Valentine's Day is kind of crazy weekend. So we did that this weekend. But yeah, I like chilling at home. It's my favorite. The kids are wild. We're the house of everybody, and and so they're almost always around on the weekends too.
Yeah. Do you do anything photography wise on the weekends, or do you try and just push it in the week?
So now that I'm an established studio, we have those boundaries of I don't shoot the weekends at all. And it's taken a lot of years to get to that. I know in the beginning, my first real wedding, when weddings were primary, I did 32 weddings in 4 states and 2 countries. And so that was every weekend and sometimes double weekends. And so, there was a time that I had to do that, and now I don't have to do that. So we're pretty strict on the weekends are off.
It's good that you can hit a point where you can just be like, you know what, I think we're...
Yeah, and
good.
That's important as a business of any kind, is that you find those boundaries of what's important to you, because it can run your life. Social media and our phones are so close to us, all the time. You could be responding at 2 a.m. I mean, we get emails at most random times, and you just have to know that still will be there at 9 o'clock when you get into the office or whatever.
It's good to just take a break and...
Yeah.
Do you have any other hobbies outside of photography that you like to do? Or interests?
Let's see here. I'd love to travel. We just got back from Mexico in November. We went for 12 days.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty cool. We've been a few times. We're a swimming family, so the whole family swims. We're excited for the new rec center to come in.
Oh,
Yes. That should be coming in pretty soon,
know.
right?
Yeah.
In the spring.
Yeah.
Well, not completely. I feel like it's
I think
Yeah.
I heard June.
Oh.
I think.
Fully?
Like the pool part should be open. Yeah.
Because what was their like span? 4 to 7 years to build it all. I'm pretty
I
sure.
believe so. Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll probably be like gone.
I know. I wish I was like a little kid
I know.
having a brand new rec center. I'm
Yeah,
kind
that
of jealous
would-
of
yeah, I know.
like
That would
my
be so
siblings
fun.
and stuff. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, you said you went to Mexico. Have you been anywhere else around the world or?
So I lived in Peru for a little while.
What?
I was a teacher at a school down there right out of college. My husband and I went down to Lima, and we taught for 6 months down there. So, yeah, I got kidnapped once down there. I don't know if this is at all the topic you want to talk about. So I was a blonde American 22-year-old, and I got in a taxi, and I told them where I wanted them to take me, and they passed it and wouldn't stop. And so I jumped out of a moving vehicle. And then like 2 weeks later, we went up to a mountain place to teach at another compound, and there was a riot on the mountain. The miners were trying to get the attention of some political people, so they stopped all tourist traffic up and down to Lima, and we got stuck in that. And so we were stranded in a bus for over 24 hours on the side of a mountain.
my
and they were like lighting
gosh.
the road on fire and throwing like boulders onto the road if you tried walking. And and so we went like, I don't know, 18 hours without eating. And then eventually my husband left the bus and went to find food. Well, the World Cup was going on, like soccer.
yeah.
And so everybody was in this one little mountain house watching the tournament because Peru was in it, and he left for hours. He left me on the bus for hours because he was watching the tournament and forgot that he was supposed to be bringing stuff back to me.
That's terrible.
That sounds
I haven't
awful.
forgiven. No, I'm kidding.
That's
But we
definitely
had-
an experience.
Yeah.
How
We
long
ended
did
up
you
walking.
live there?
We were in Peru 6 months, but
Oh, yeah, you said that.
so we were stuck for like 24 hours, and then we decided to walk down the mountain. So we literally just picked up our bags and hiked for 7-8 miles before we got on the back of a semi and rode the rest of the way into town.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would move out of there instantly if I got kidnapped.
Yeah, right? I'd be like, not for me.
So when people are like, "Oh, Mexico's scary," I'm like, "Nah,
No.
it's fine."
Yeah.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, we sent Jax to Guatemala last year on his own. He was 16. We stuck him on a plane to go on a mission trip down there for 7 days.
Oh,
but so
wow.
travel is just part of our life, and it's important to us that our kids are comfortable.
Yeah.
in
Do you like
different-
to photograph when you travel, or do
Yeah,
you?
some. A lot of times when it's your creativity is also your job, you actually need to intentionally take breaks from that. So sometimes I'll go on a photo day, like a photo trip, where my intention is to create art that is outside of my normal art is. But sometimes I intentionally don't even take my camera. So when we went to Mexico, I did take my camera, and we did some, and like it was our 20th anniversary, so we photographed on the beach and stuff. But the session before, or the trip before that, I intentionally left my camera behind because it was more rejuvenating for me to not have that pressure of like needing to perform.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, if you have to take pictures like of yourself, or you want a photo shoot, do you do it yourself, or do you actually like use another photographer?
So sometimes, this last time we did both because we were at like 4 different locations. And so I have a photographer friend who lives on the island, Cozumel. And so we did hire her to do session with us. And then, yeah, I can put my camera on a timer on my phone, and then I can trigger it off my phone. So we did some of that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Well, I think we're nearing the end of our podcast. Is there any advice you'd like to give to like the people of North Platte, or just students of North Platte who who want to follow their passion like you did?
Yeah, in the photography world, if you're looking at doing this as as your career, I don't recommend going to a college for photography. I would actually recommend going into business. I spend about 80% of my time doing business things and only 20% of my time creating. And so it would be more beneficial to a person in this field to go get that business degree if they were looking at what degree they want to go towards. But then also there's this mentality of, I just need to get better than I was last year. And that mentality will actually run you in the ground. If you have a mentality of what can I do to 10 times what I did this year, that mentality will keep you moving forward. Not that you'll necessarily make 10 times the amount or do 10 times the amount of things, but with that mentality, you don't get stuck in the weeds of like, oh, I just need to book one more session. No, I need to book 10 more sessions. What do I do to get 10 more sessions? So any business idea, any business you're going into, to have that mentality will help you stay out of being burned out before you get there. And then also the 10,000 rule. I mean, you got to do something 10,000 hours, 10,000 times before you can even consider it being something you can do on a professional level. And just keep that in mind when you're feeling like you suck. Like it takes a long time to get to 10,000. So just that process.
What's like the number one goal or like feeling you want your clients to have when they see their photos or when you're photographing them?
So we have a mentality at our studio that every client is known, seen, and loved. Whether that is a student that's coming in for a 10-second shot or a senior that's coming in for their senior session, a big session. We want to know who you are. We want you to feel like we understand and get you. We want you to feel loved and seen. And when I say seen, like just like I know what you're feeling, and just have that openness with them. So yeah, every client in a moment photography in Nebraska would be, we want them to be known, seen, and loved.
And working for you, I know a little more about this, but like, what's the purpose of your beauty project?
Ooh, my beauty project. So the beauty project was created to help women specifically take time for themselves. And what it's actually done is open up this, almost spiritual experience for women, because the project was meant for anybody from 12 to 90 as far as women go. But what we're getting is 40 to 60-year-old women who have spent a good chunk of their lives raising kids and being a wife, and they're not taking that time to do something for themselves. It's kind of like a spa day. They come and they get their hair and makeup done. We photograph beautiful pictures of them in like the dress that hangs in the back of the closet that they, don't have anywhere to wear it to. And they just feel beautiful. And it's really just been this really cool project that I've been able to connect with other women to empower them for what they're doing next in life.
So is this just like for a certain period of time, or do you plan to do it for as long as you...
Yeah, so it was meant for 3 months back in October. But it has been such a well received in our community. At December, decided, okay, I'll go through March. I'll get through Valentine's Day, get through that section. And we just committed to May. So, I think I'll let it keep rolling until the interest stops, because it's such a need. Women don't take care of themselves. Like, I don't know, the industry of social media puts a certain picture of who women should be. And this is just kind of breaking down those barriers, and I just love it. It's really life-giving to me.
I think it's really great that you get to express not only like yourself, but your businesses, and then you get to do that for other people where they get to express themselves as well.
Yeah.
Just through beauty projects.
Yeah.
Yes. Being a photographer, like, what's one thing you want to be remembered for when you're done?
Being kind. I think in this world, kind isn't our number one go-to in anything. We assume the person who cut us off is, a stupid person. We assume the person who didn't pay us or didn't tip us is not a nice person. And just that I want the mentality that everything I do is for Jesus, and I want that to reflect in everything, from the way I smile down the street to how you feel in front of my camera. But yeah, kind.
I think that's an awesome mentality to go for. So
I also really enjoy your motto because I feel like sometimes when you're in front of a camera, you're just like, you're negative about yourself and like other people. And so sometimes you don't always feel like you're being seen in the right ways. And I love how you are intentional about that.
Thank you. It is just amazing how many women just tear themselves apart in front of the camera. Like, no, you're stunning. Even your guys' age, like you guys, you're seniors next year and you go through that same process. And it's just super, we're seeing it's super stressful for you guys to be vulnerable in front of the camera and to be brave enough to say, I don't like this, and me help you. Well, if you don't like that, then we do it this way. And, or why don't you like that? You're stunning. Your eyes are gorgeous. Just that encouragement, because you guys see so much on social media these days.
Right. You're so true. Well, I think this is the end of our podcast. So
Yes,
thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming.
Thanks for having me.
It was really cool to get to know.
And yeah, a moment photography.
And Nebraska portraits.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Bye.